So there's now a new National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center. Let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, Wolverines, and welcome back to the channel. My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and I keep an eye on the 2A space, including what we're going to be talking about today. If you can do me a big favor, like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps with the algorithm, and it helps get my voice out there. Today, we are going to be talking about the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center, which is a program launched by the Biden administration, and according to them, is authorized by the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to help states implement ERPOs, which are Extreme Risk Protection Order laws, also known as red flag laws. What this center would do is help states implement red flag laws and encourage other states that have not implemented red flag laws to go ahead and implement these unconstitutional laws. What they are going to do is help police issue red flags and also help the courts deal with them, which I think is really, really bad because it helps them violate your rights. Remember, with red flag laws, there is no due process. Basically, what happens is there is a ex parte hearing where they say why they want to take away your rights, and that is usually granted by a judge. Because it's an ex parte hearing, that means that you are not present, which brings up a huge issue of due process. Initially, there's no due process. You don't get to face your accuser or even know that there is a ERPO being taken out on you. Basically, they go to court, they get the ERPO, they show up, and they take all your firearms, which I think is unconstitutional. Now, opponents of ERPOs see a huge constitutional issue with this. The proponents of it say that there is due process. It's just not right away. You take the guns first, which is what Trump said, and due process later. But to me and to a lot of you guys out there, a right delayed is a right denied. So if there's no due process in the beginning, there cannot be any due process later on down the road because your rights are already violated at this point. Yet that's what the Biden administration wants to do. They want to violate your right to bear arms. Now, they state that this was granted in the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. If you don't recall, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act was a bill that was passed in Congress with some Republicans crossing over and voting for it. They tried to say that it was not a big deal and nothing like this would happen, but yet it has. Not only with this, but we have also seen the ATF try to redefine what a gun dealer is by referencing the powers given to them in the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Now, the Republicans that voted for it are saying, hey, we didn't know that they were going to do that, but I'm pretty sure that they did. And now they are just looking for cover because everyone's pissed off at them. There were several in the gun community that said the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act wasn't a big deal and it was being overblown. And now we have the redefinition of a firearms dealer going through the process of rulemaking, and now we have a red flag center helping states institute a unconstitutional red flag law. So I think it goes to show you when people say this is a big deal, you might want to look into it and not assume that it's all hype. Because apparently with the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, it wasn't all hype. Even though some people tried to play it off like people were just fundraising on it, which now you see they weren't. They were absolutely right. The program is going to be run by the Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions. If that sounds familiar, I have talked about it in the past. It takes a lot of money from groups like Everytown, Brady, Giffords, and all these other anti-gun organizations. So thinking that this will be a nonpartisan thing is out the window with those groups involved. Since they fund Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solution, they will probably have their hands heavily into this center, which is not good for you and it's not good for me. What they are trying to do is disarm the populace one person at a time. What they want is red flag laws that are so easy to implement that they can take away any guns from anyone at any time, which is not a good thing. One of the stated goals is to teach family members on what to do and how to enact a red flag law. Basically, they want to teach the population on how to red flag each other. They are also going to teach first responders of incidents, what to look for, and how to red flag people that they run across. So basically what they are doing is trying to up the number of ERPOs issued across the country. And this is really scary because it is Big Brother. What they want to do is have you spy on your family members and have me spy on my family members and let them know of the littlest thing to get them red flagged and get their firearms taken away. This isn't about making people safer. It is definitely not. It is about the fundamental right to bear arms and their fundamental hatred for that fundamental right. What they want to do is take away your rights and my rights. They want to violate our right to due process. They want to violate our Fourth, Fifth Amendment rights. They want to violate our Second Amendment rights. They want us powerless and dependent on the government. And until we stand up and fight back, they are going to keep on pushing this. Of course, Kamala Harris announced this while visiting Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, where there was a tragic shooting that left a lot of kids dead and made a career for people like David Hogg to walk on the graves of his classmates. So they are using a tragedy to try to reach their political goals, which I think is damn evil if you ask me. So what can be done? Well, right now, I think it will go into effect. If we have a Republican president next time, if Trump wins, maybe he'll reverse it. But I'm not so sure that he will step in and defund it, because if you look at what he said before, he said, take the guns first and due process later. So he's a big fan of red flag laws, but he will probably be better than Biden, and maybe we can put pressure on him to go ahead and reverse this. But who knows? What I think will end this is through the court system. Red flag laws, like I said, violate several constitutional rights, including the right to due process in addition to the Second Amendment. So we'll have to see what happens there. I'm sure that there are going to be lawsuits over this, and there's already lawsuits over red flag laws around the country. It just has to take time to get up to the Supreme Court, because red flag laws are not going to go anywhere until the Supreme Court says that they are unconstitutional. Even if they win in a circuit, there's probably going to be a circuit split. So SCOTUS is our key, which means that having a president in the White House that can appoint judges that are pro-gun is very, very important, because let's face it, Thomas is probably going to retire soon. Sotomayor has spoken about maybe retiring soon. And we'll have to see what happens. But we need the court systems to back us up. What the Democrats are doing, and I say Democrats because most Democrats are anti-gun, is playing the long game. What they want to do is wait until the Supreme Court gets shifted over to a more anti-gun liberal stance, and then try to take out Bruin and Heller and all the other pro-gun decisions that the Supreme Court has made over the years. And the only way we can defeat that is through the election process. So this election is important. I know it kind of got off on a tangent there talking about elections. I'm not a Trump guy. I do not like Trump, but he's sure as hell better than Biden. All right, guys, that is it. So stay vigilant, stay free. We'll be talking about this more on John Crump Live, which is coming up in less than an hour. And we'll be discussing this and taking your questions, and you can jump in and add to the conversation. All right, guys, that's it. So stay vigilant, stay free, keeping the fight. I am out of here. Wolverine's motherfucker.